The AMC share price dipped just below $10, but our sentiment remains bullish as people continue to accumulate this hot asset. Before we begin with the technical analysis, congratulations Yohizi, you're our AMC gift card winner. And I will be giving away one more AMC gift card, $25 during our live stream. Thank you everyone very much who retweeted. And Yohizi's our winner because he's a long time viewer and he's been learning how to diamond hands these assets. Good job, bro. Thanks for your support. You're the first one to retweet. You already know Denwo's been accumulating these assets. We have 1,000 shares of CTRM now, and 1,000 shares of NAKD in the YouTube trading portfolio. I'm lowering the cost basis more and more. So now, instead of around $1 on NAKD for the average entry, down to 83 cents. For CTRM, cost basis 74 cents. That's pretty low cost bases for these assets. If they do dip even lower, I will continue to scoop up some more. I also picked up 3 more AMC shares just to prove that I'm still bullish here. We're going to begin with the German markets today. Shout out to our German friends overseas holding AMC. The reason I'm looking at this chart is because I actually like where the candles are sitting just slightly more than on the US markets. We know there's lots and lots of manipulation in the US markets, and there's quite a bit of chop on both charts. But this one is somewhat of a more controlled movement here. So let's analyze that. And this is the old trend line, the blue diagonal line. Now, we had this bounce here, and I'm just, not only am I going to readjust it, but before I do that, if I copy and paste it and move it just below here, it continues to ride within this parallel channel. It's ascending parallel channel. That's the current price action. But zooming further out now, if I actually readjust this to before the breakout, the low, all the way to today, still matches up perfectly. It's a valid trend line for the time being, still holding. Stay calm, hold strong. This moving average support is coming up just beneath here as well. If it does continue to the red over the next day or two. Also, we have this horizontal support. All these candles is closed just along the support line, so that's still relevant as well. The price currently above there off of this double bottom here. On the US markets, it does not line up quite as nicely as it does right here. That's why I'm showing you this chart. That's a perfect double bottom at the moment. Now, here's one of our old giant wedges. Note if I extend it, it's currently underneath that old trend line, just like the blue one on the last chart. So, technically speaking, that's a bearish signal, but again, this wasn't a perfectly accurate trend line, so lowering it all the way down to the bottom like so. and then making another wedge up here from the very high. So inexperienced people, traders, are gonna draw it like this. I'm keeping it parallel with the last trend line down here. Keeping it exactly parallel and just extending it like so. The price is actually above it still. It's currently above. Now, I'm going to point out the bearish case here because the long-term horizontal support, the real important one on the mid-term, short-term, is actually this red one down here. Just slightly lower from the blue one I showed you previously up here. That's coming from the old VPVR point of control. It probably doesn't line up there anymore with this new price action, but I put that way back there from weeks ago. That's where it was during this whole move. So I'm gonna leave that there. It's the current support aligning with this other very long-term moving average curving up underneath here, like so. It's very common for assets to test your emotions just one last time before going on a big run higher. We may see that here before continuation. Now jumping over to the US markets, it's our day trading chart, and it's still consolidating within this box here. It's accumulation zone. It is not a buy box, it is not a sell box. This is simply accumulation where people are buying the dips just underneath $10. Every time it dips under $10, it gets scooped up and pushed back up higher. I'm just gonna readjust some of these projections here. It still lines up nicely with the current price action. Now, even if it were to go all the way to the bottom here of this box, well, based off this projection, this would be a higher high coming through in the near future. Once it does break out of this box in the bullish scenario, some kind of stair-stepping pattern going on, potentially. That's what we're waiting for, that's what we're watching on the day trading side of things. The midterm target's up here at $16, coming from way back. That's based upon previous areas up here. And this is indeed a sell box, as a matter of fact, for now. But eventually we expect this to turn into another accumulation zone, similar to this one, before another push higher in the future for the mid-long term perspective. The indicators look pretty nice as well, going back to the higher time frames, shorter time frames. The RSI is somewhat beginning to trend upwards here, like so. And the MACD doesn't look too bad either. It's been a lot of up and down, but here's a good bit of green bullish momentum coming through on the 2 hour. The 4 hours getting close to a potential turnaround as well. Hopefully we do see that. It is currently not confirmed. And the daily continues to fade out the bearish momentum. It could look better, but it could look much worse as well. It's definitely closer to a buy signal than a sell signal. Now for GameStop, our long-term chart here. We also have two wedge-like patterns, and remember, these assets are very similar. That's why I show them back to back, even though the moves here are much more volatile on GameStop compared to AMC. So with that being said, even if AMC sees some downside, GameStop has much further it could run, both upwards and downwards at this point, and it's been trending down. So we're going to continue with that thesis for the time being until we get some bullish validation on a pattern breakout on the long-term chart for a swing trade. So for the time being, I'm going to remove this breakout scenario. It has not done that. The moving average is also rolling over just above the price, the last candles in the daily chart. I'm going to move this projection over ever so slightly. Remember, none of these predictions are going to be perfect. These are just to help us decipher which direction that the asset is going to head in the future, so you can stay one step ahead of the markets. We've had this orange one ever since this bearish box up in here. The price still has not returned above $200 in quite some time. Not only that, the real sell signal was up here at 300, and ever since then it's been getting pushed lower and lower. The bottom of this area is a buy box down here underneath $100. The low of that box is going to be closer to $50, $60. Just an estimate of the bottom could be based upon this moving average, just above $50 there. Now, note the end of this pattern is right before the earnings call, the next earnings for GameStop on May 27th. And that earnings is going to be for the year of 2021, so it is relevant. And remember the last time it had an earnings right here, the price got wrecked. So the earnings is correlated to some strong movements. Now, if the price returns down here before that happens, before that event occurs, I am expecting another big movement, except this time, hopefully it'll be upwards instead of downwards going into the next earnings and thereafter. Zooming into the day trading chart, similar to AMC, is still within this accumulation box for now. It has been trending lower on the day. Be careful here. It's got a lot of resistances just above here, these orange dashed lines, and none of these bullish cases have occurred. So until that happens, I'm gonna remove these predictions, these projections. Here's the area we really need GameStop to get to for a continuation here bullishly, all the way up, breaking out of the larger pattern somewhere in the future here. So even if it rides sideways for some time, could be a week, 2 weeks, eventually it's gonna retest this resistance, and that'll be the real signal, either up or down. I'll keep you posted. Also, the indicators don't look so hot on GameStop at the moment. Once again, this has some more room to the downside it could go on the RSI here. No confirmation there. And there is more bearish momentum on GameStop's indicators than AMC, MACD as well. There's some strong bearish momentum here. The red bars coming through on the MACD. This is a 4-hour chart. Hopefully we don't see this happen on AMC over the next couple weeks. If it does, I'm already planning for it now. I know what prices I'm gonna enter at. If these assets do continue lower, I'm gonna keep accumulating. I'm not holding any GameStop right now, full disclosure. But I would consider an entry in the buy box if it does return there. Gonna wrap things up with CCIV once more. Here's the accumulation box on CCIV. It's very, very tight here. Just between $22.70 and $23.10 exactly. It's a very precise box. And it's a bullish box. It is a buy box. To be more precise, the entire buy box range is all the way down to about $21.35. Let's just call it $21 all the way at the local bottom here, the double bottom wicks. So that's the current support, but it is much higher currently. And it is looking to continue here. You've seen the magic triangles. Let me show you something. You've seen the magic triangles, but have you ever seen a magic circle? That's right. Check this out. This is a very advanced concept. I don't recommend trying to draw a Fibonacci circle if you're just beginning. And there we have it. Note the red inner circle. This is our baseline area. It's almost perfectly matching up with the moving average, the red moving average just above it here. The price actions hitting exactly the middle of this circle that's relevant. This area right here was just a starting point, but this is the real center right here. Now, what does that tell us? Well, this is also a valid trend line right now of support, and so is this dashed orange line underneath. So there's a lot of confluence here for the bulls on CCIV. It's looking nice right now. Based upon this fib circle, this magic circle, hopefully we see a breakout coming up here. So I'll line it up with these lines as well. Right here, like so. Alright, I'll do it like this. Make it very precise here. is what we're gonna do. And that's our magic circle. I've been having fun day trading CCIV. There's a lot of nice price action in the markets right now if you find the right opportunities. It just takes patience to spot those plays. Now, even though this is a beautiful chart, a very interesting trade setup here, things can always go south, and it's still good to be aware of that possibility. All this does is provide an interesting entry point with a tight stop loss just underneath. Cool. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Happy trading.